Hey guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is part 6 on What If Deku Had Sly Cooper Abilities, Demolition Warzone. And I hope you like this video, and hope you subscribe. Suku and Bentley Murray were walking to school the next day, and Suku says, "Can't believe I'm the frickin' president." And Bentley says, "Well, Sly, you did kinda agitate her. And you also did that thing." And Suki says, I know, but still, I didn't want to be the president." And Murray says, "Why not? It would be an awesome gig." And Suki says, "Yes, it would, but I'm not that type of guy." And Murray says, "You're the leader." And Suki says, "Yes, but I'm not the calculative guy with all the stuff that class presidents do." And Bentley says, "Well, you did show a lot of tact to it." And Zuki says, "I just want a relaxing time, but I guess I get what I deserve, Carmelita." And when Zuki says that, he hears, "Oh crap, paparazzi." And Bentley says, "Well, this isn't surprising." And Murray says, "Ooh, maybe they are looking for All Might." And Zuki says, "Well, there's always a third option, but I gotta go with Murray on this one. So, what do you want to do? Get over the wall?" And Zuki looks at Bentley, and Bentley says, "Hey, I don't like paparazzi as much as you do." Murray says, "Alright." And Murray lifts Suku up, and Suku gets his cane and, well, secretly hides it from the paparazzi and every people, and lifts Bentley up, and then Bentley uses his backpack gadget gear and has one arm, and Suku with a cane, and lift Murray up. You need to be on the diet, you know." And Murray says, "Come on, I'm a hippo. You can't blame me for it." And Zuki sighs and says, "Let's just hurry before." And he hears a familiar voice. "Where are you going, Zuki?" And Zuki looks and says, "Carmelita, why are you in this side?" And Zuki says, because we just got here?" And Carmelita looks at Bentley. "Bentley, tell me." And Bentley says, "We just got over the fence." And Zuki says, "Well, can you really blame us?" And Carmelita looks and says, I don't like paparazzi either." So Zuki lifts up Carmelita and says, "There you go, my lady." And Carmelita says, "Shut it." And Suki says, "What? I'm just being charming." And Carmelita says, "I'm not forgiving you." And Suki says, this again. I told you it was a one-time thing with that handcuff." And Bentley and Murray says, when will they just make up?" Murray just puts his palm in his face. This is just getting old." Suku and Bentley Murray follow Carmelita in school and sit with her at the cafeteria. And Carmelita says this, "Why are you trying so hard?" Suku looks at her. "I'm sorry that I handcuffed you. It was a valid reason. You wouldn't move. If I hadn't done it, then..." And Carmelita says, "Then I could have put you in your bars." And Suki says, "No." And Carmelita says, "Then why?" And "Give me a good answer." And Suki trying to think of an answer, and when Carmelita was about to leave, a villain emergency comes, and all of the UA students were scared and frightened. And Carmelita said, "Is this your game?" And Suki says, what? No. And why would I have them here? And Bentley says, we're not doing any plans this time. And why would we have no reason to do this? And Murray says, I highly doubt they need me for brute force. Maybe a getaway, but I highly doubt it. And Carmelita says, you're not lying? And Suki says, Carmelita, and then getting pushed by other students. Hey, watch it! And Carmelita says, Suki! And Bentley says, wow! And Murray says, hey, watch it, pal! Suki, get somewhere high! Then Suki sees somewhere high and tries to jump. Crap, I can't get up! And then Suki says, I can't get up there! And looking at Carmelita, Carmelita, get up there, quick! Carmelita says, why? You're the better jumper. I highly doubt I can jump from a large crowd. And Carmelita says, okay, and jumping up on the hinge of the doors and sees, paparazzis are getting in. And Carmelita explains that it was just news reporters and paparazzis. So no, they don't need to be afraid, or they're too chicken to be called heroes. And all the students snap out of it. And Suki smiles at her. That's my girl. And Bentley says, fail an alarm. I highly doubt it was because of them. Who was it? And Carmelita looks at Suki. And Suki says, don't look at me. I would never touch UA's stuff. And Carmelita says, I know. And Suki says, probably a traitor. And Murray says, traitor? Who would betray students? And Suki then says, right, I did heard something about a UA traitor in Class 1A. And Carmelita says, I haven't heard that, but it seems right. I need your help, Suki. And Suki says, wait, really, Fox? And Carmelita says, yes, stubbornly, I do need your help. And Suki smiles. And Bentley says, I'll be leaving. Come on, Murray. Yeah, have a good time. And Suki and Carmelita are in a little awkward silence. And Carmelita says the first thing. So, why? What were you? And Suki says this. I wanted to. It's not because of my family heritage or some of it. It's part of pride. But whoever takes our things must pay for what they get. And we take it back. But it's not a reason for it. But it's for family. For next generation. And Carmelita says, oh, then that means, yes, I'm not just thinking about myself, thinking for others and the future. And Carmelita says, well, I'll try to not hurt you bad if you go rogue. And Suki says, thanks. I'll take that as a good terms. And when Suki leaves and goes catch up with the guys, Carmelita then thinks, Suki, why you make it difficult? And the next day, all the students go on the UA bus, and Suki tells the students to get on the bus, make it not difficult for anyone, especially a lovely fox. And Carmelita smiles and says, alright, Mr. Charming. And Suki says, hey, made it to Charming. And Carmelita says, don't push your luck. And Suki says, hey, I'm just sticking to my priorities. And Bentley says, smooth, real smooth. And Suki says, hey. Murray says, well, this is going to be interesting. And getting on the bus, all the students were having a good talk. And Murray and Kirishima were being like the bestest bros. Bentley thinks of tactical thinking and rescue operations, and Zuko was worried about the last person that would hold the last raccoonus of thieves book, the Panda King. He's one of the demolition expert from 5 rogues, and Suku and Bentley don't know where he's going to be attacking. Kept his appearance hidden for a bit, but they don't know where he's gonna attack. And the bus had made it to USJ, and all the students get off and then see the all-around hero 13 explaining the gist of how quirks are dangerous. Even the simplest ones can be even deadly, like her black hole. And Murray says, "Yeah, I would not fare well against anything like that." And 13 says, "Exactly, but be careful, even if you're trying to." And Suku says, why do I feel unease about this? And Carmelita says, "Suku, what's the matter?" And Suku says, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. And all of Class 1A sees a dark portal coming around and on the other side of the USJ. And Bentley says, "Suku, this isn't the training." And Suku says this, "Yes, what is going on?" And Suku, realizing, Carmelita whips out her taser gun, and the portal villain sends out all different villains. And Murray says, "Whoa, that's a lot of people." And when all the villains were out, they see a gigantic being, the Nomu, with Shigaragi on the side. But when they were going to stand there, they see another person. And Zuki says, "What? No way!" And Bentley says, "You're kidding me!" Murray says, "Hey, isn't that the guy?" And Carmelita says, "He's here? How did he? Why is he?" And all of the 5 people who know him, "Why is Panda King here?" And the Panda King looks at Shigaragi. "I know what I'm going to do, Shigaragi, but I absolutely hate your ideals." And Shigaragi says, "Well, we can both agree on this one, that our bosses want to get rid of a certain person. But we need enough money to deal with this and make the hero society look bad." And Panda King says, "I'd rather do my own thing, but I do not want the man that made that idea to be vengeful on me, so I have no choice." And Shigaragi says, Tomagiri, go." And Tomagiri teleports to students. And while Zella was taking out the villains on the field, Tomagiri goes and says, "Greetings, we are the League of Villains, but with one extra member, the Rogues." And Suki says, "You're kidding me, the Rogues are fighting with the League of Villains?" And Bentley says, "This is going to be harder than before." Murray says, "Didn't expect this." And Carmelita says, "Oh, don't have your undies in the bun. It's going to be, if we stay together, then..." And when she said that, Tomagiri teleported half of the students to different places. And Bentley was with Shoto and Toru, Murray with Kirishima and Bakugo, and Zuko with Sue and Mineta. And Carmelita says, "Stick together." Wait a minute, teleported them? Oh no, a just so they're not in water. And Suki was falling and sees water. And Suki says, water. Why does it have to be water? And using his parachute, yippee! I do not want to be in water. And getting to a boat. Whew, that was close. And Sue was carrying Mineta. And Suki says, hey, over here! And Sue was swimming to Suki's location and uses Ryoichi's cane to pull them up. And Suki says, glad I'm here with you guys. And Sue says, are you okay? Suki, you seem skittish. And Mineta also says, yeah, you look like you seen the dead daylight. And Suki says, oh, yeah, here's the thing. Telling them about his can't swim. And Mineta says, you're kidding me! How do you not know to swim? And Suki says this. Me and Murray and Bentley were in the orphanage. We didn't know how to swim. We weren't taught. And Mineta says, oh, then retract that statement. That's a good statement. And Sue says, well, at least we have a very good placement to figure out how to get off this place. And Suki says, I got this bad boy. And Mineta says, a parachute. Yeah, I parachuted all the way down here. And Mineta says, you're a freaking genius. And then villains were surrounding them. And obviously, Zuki was in his 5% stage. He wasn't even using his full strength. But Zuki is thinking and has an idea. What if I could use my cane, my strength, to propel myself by using so much force in the air, hit water, flying me off? And Suki then thinks, okay, that'll work. And Suki gets ready to jump. And Mineta says, wait, you didn't discuss with us. And Suki says this, relax. A man of strategies always makes a good entrance. And Sue says, huh? Well, I think I know what he means by that. And getting ready to jump and holding on to Mineta. And Suki then runs and up in the air. Hope this works! And getting out his ancestors' Ryoichi's cane. And says, shoot style, 5%. Thief style, whirlwind, concussive blast. And hitting the water with enough force and blowing him up. And Mineta throwing his balls and making a whirlpool. And all the villains were stuck, and it goes exactly as planned. And Zuki used his parachute to go all the way to near to the land. And Zuki sighs and says, I'll never go near to the ocean again. And Sue says, you know you're going to have to do some swimming practices. And Suki then cries out in their side and says, damn it, she's right! But Suki's more worried about his gang. And while he was saying that, Bentley was being protected by Shoto and helping out with the support on knockout gas tranks. And Shoto says, for a guy that is weak, you are surprisingly support. And Bentley says, well, thanks. I'm not used to having people having my back sometimes. I'm usually used to my friends, or being alone. And Shoto looks at Bentley. And when he was looking at Bentley, Toru says, oh my god, you're so adorable when you're shy. And Bentley says, what? Where did you come from? Huh? Toru says, I was always here. And Bentley says, right, you're invisible. Hang on, let me use, wait a minute. Are you wearing anything? Bentley says, and Toru says, wearing these. And Bentley then says, yeah, never mind. Forget it. And Toru says, huh? What? Bentley says, nothing. It's just nothing. And when Bentley was thinking, I was going to use my heat inspector, but I realized that she didn't wear much, so I forget. And then Murray and Kirishima were honestly wrecking the place just as much as Bakugo. Villains can't even touch them. And Suki then said, I think they're fine. Then when they see Azawa being beaten to a pulp by the Nomu, and Suki was weirded out by why Azawa isn't taking out the Nomu. It's quirk. But when he was thinking that, Shigaraki says, well, ain't it so easy? And goes to attack and make Sue gone. But when he does that, Suki then uses one for all, thief style, cane, raccoonus, sweep, and sweeping Shigi's leg, and Shigi falls on the ground, and Shigaraki says, you're fast, and Suki puts 2 canes back on his back, and Panda King smirks. Shigaraki! I'll take him on. And Shigaraki says, why? The Noma's gonna take him out. Enough! It's pointless. I'll take care of this intruder. And Shigaraki backs off. And Shigi looks at Suki. You're just lucky. And Suki says, well, I thought a villain like you could give me a handful, but I thought not. And Shigaraki touches the ground and decaying some of it on Suki. But Suki jumps up and says, too slow. And Shigaraki says, that's just holding back, you little pain. And Suki says he's not joking. If I fought him for real, I highly doubt I could take him out that quickly. Panda King, demolition expert. This is going to be hard. Suki grabs his Ryoichi's canes and gets into a stance. And Panda King walks toward Suki. My, isn't it interesting to see you fully grown, young Suki? But you were lucky. And Suki says, you knew? And the Panda King says, why don't we get away from the talking a bit? Let's keep it a little further. And both Panda King and Suki get away from the students from a distance. So, you will dress as your ancestor, Ryoichi Cooper. I got your little ancestor scroll, Ryoichi's art. And Suki says, well, I was here to take it, but I also was dealing with something else, stopping you. And Panda King says, what about it? You're a thief, just like me. What's the difference? And Suki says, that's not true. Suki says, I'm from a generations of thieves, master thieves. You're just a homicidal maniac with anger problems. How dare you! Now, you will face my fiery foe! And Suki and Panda King stands off, and Suki runs towards the Panda King, going to hit him first. But Panda King grabbed his ancestors' canes and throws. Do you know why I love fireworks? Suki says this. It's because you loved them when you were a kid, and all of your whole village didn't have them because of the wealthy. And Panda King says, yes, but now I set
them ablaze. And now you shall face the power of the fireworks! Panda King's quirk is called Firework Panda. His hands are igniting different types of combust fireworks from his hands and shoots them out and creates them with his cannon, making it a fiery devastation. There's a reason why he's called the Demolition, for a reason. And the Panda King shoots out a fire of his kung fu style, throwing a cry chop swing, and Suki dodges the cry chop, and Panda King says, "Where's this speed? You used it on Shigaragi, but where? You're slower." And Suki jumps over Panda King's head. Like I tell you. And Suki then uses a quick run and goes for a sweep for Panda King's legs. But Panda King stomps on his canes. And Suki says, "What the? Oh no." And Panda King cracks his neck. "Do you know why fireworks are so beautiful? My fireworks are not flares. Burst with the ferocious beauty and crackling like thunder." And Panda King shoots a firework, and Zuki lets go of Ryoichi's weapons. And Panda King says, "Where's your king? You Coopers always have it." And Suki says, "I don't know what you're talking about." And Panda King says, "You know, that thing isn't the only real danger. This whole building is surrounded by explosives." And Suki says, "What? You're crazy!" And Panda King says, "I wouldn't do it personally, but I had orders to do. And if I was defeated, or any of the villains failed, I would explode it into a firework beauty." And Zuki then says, "Gotta end it quick then." Then Zuki uses one for all, 5% thief style. And Zuki runs around the Panda King. And Panda King says, "So you were taking me seriously now. I already seen your trick once." And grabbing Zuki's kick. And Zuki says, "Help!" And throwing him to the ground, slamming it. Gah! And Panda King says, "What a one-trick pony." And Zuki says, "Well, not one trick, but I got many tricks up my sleeves." And Zuki then grabs his gear and uses a smoke ball. And Panda King's foot has gone. What pathetic trick is this, Cooper? And Zuki says this, "Oh, just a simple messing with your mind trick, Panda King." And Zuki's voices were coming around different places. And Panda King says, "You really underestimate me, you mere child." And Panda King uses his calm demeanor, trying to find where and pick up the sound. Then he hears the footsteps stop, and he swings his back and using a cry chop. Didn't felt right. Panda King says, "You little cheeky brat." And it was a dummy. And Zuki says, "Saw you would fall for it." And grabbing another pair of Ryoichi's weapons and hitting Panda King's face. And Zuki says, "Didn't think I had any other spare trick?" And Panda King says, "Not bad, but that's the last thing you can use now." And Zuki says, "Well, let's see if you can keep." And Panda King grabs his launcher. "Now, you know what the true power of my quirk is." And igniting his cannon with all the fireworks. And Zuki says, "Crap." And then uses 10% of one for all. Okay, here I go. And then Panda King says, now we'll see who's the better thief. And Suki says, well, ain't you? And the Panda King says, first, the detonation! And firing amount of fireworks to Zuki. And Zuki dodging the fireworks at him. And Barrage goes after him. Whoa! Hello! Dodging left, right, and up. There was tons of fireworks coming at him. Then Suki uses his Ryuichi's canes and swings them back at Panda King. And Panda King says, please, and grabs one of his fireworks. You think this is child's play? And letting go of the firework and putting it up in the air and exploding. Ah, such a beauty. Now, die! And Suki says, man, he's really going at it. I don't have much time to keep him busy, but when he's in a corner, crap! And the Panda King says this. Finally, you stop running. And Suki says, well, let's see if you can keep up to this. Okay, one for all, 15%. Thief style. And the Panda King says, not bad, but I highly doubt you reach this grand. Now, the Cooper family legacy has gone down. And he charges up the final attack. And Suki thinks, Carmelita, sorry, at the proper time to say something. And when he does, tries to say something, Bentley says on his comm, Zuko, are you there? Huh? Bentley. And Bentley says, you're facing Panda King all by yourself. Are you okay? And Zuko says, Peachy, but Panda King puts all of the bombing around the building. You need to stop them. On it. Murray, let's go. On it. And while Kirishim going to the door, they hear a bang and another. Oh boy, what's coming out? And Bentley says, I think the heroes are coming in. And then the door was destroyed. And All Might says, don't worry, because I am here! With a fierce face. And Panda King says, he's here. And Suki then uses his golden cane, his original. And the Panda King says, gotta finish this quick. Then Zuki says, sorry, King, but you left your cell wide open. 50% Cooper Hoop. And Zuki hooks Panda King's gear into his cane's hook and rears it back. And the Panda King says, my gear. You still don't have this one. Now, face your end. But when he says that, Carmelita then fires. I wouldn't do that. Having his hands shocked. And Suki says, why don't you have a nice sleep, big guy? And Suki then swings his cane and knocking the Panda King out. Then everything goes exactly as USJ has gone. But Suki went to the hospital to feel his ribs. Oh, yeah. He actually hurt me with those fireworks a bit. And All Might says, that was too close. And Suki says, I got one of my ancestors' things, but I don't know where that other one is. That last rogue has it, and I don't know who he is. And All Might says, well, let's be lucky to find out soon. And when Suki and All Might were talking, a inspector comes in, and with his assistant, and Suki sees his assistant and says, Carmelita! And Carmelita says, Suki, why are you here? And the inspector says, oh, he never told you. It's fair enough. But he's the holder of One for All. What? You mean
the quirk of All Might isn't really his? Huh? That doesn't make any sense. And the inspector is explaining that to Carmelita, while Carmelita is a little angry at Suki for keeping that secret. And Suki was going to explain it. He would have anybody important to him would be hurt. And Carmelita says, important? You mean? And Zuki says, yes, you're important to me, Carmelita. And Carmelita blushes, but her face it from showing from Zuki. And says, well, good, then. And Zuki says, you're cute when you're all sassy. And Carmelita says, shut it. And All Might says, man, these two really have it for each other. And Inspector says, yep, even in their young teen year. And Inspector tells All Might that Carmelita was fantasizing over him when they first met. And All Might laughs. And, well, that's one way of introducing someone. That's where I'm ending this video. I hope you like this video and hope you'll like and subscribe. See you next time.
There's no choice.